FreenBecky, how two stars sparked a global obsession. In the crowded universe of modern Asian entertainment, chemistry is everything, but rarely does chemistry evolve into a movement. Yet somehow, quietly at first and then all at once, FreenBecky emerged and changed the conversation. What began as a simple on-screen pairing soon transformed into a cultural force that transcended language, geography, and fandom boundaries. Today, FreenBecky is not just a name, it's a phenomenon. The birth of something unexpected. When Freen Soroka and Becky Armstrong first appeared together, there were no exaggerated expectations. No grand predictions. Just two performers stepping into their roles. But viewers felt it almost immediately. Something was different. Their interactions didn't feel rehearsed. Their emotional beats landed naturally. Silence spoke just as loudly as dialogue. And in a world where audiences are increasingly sensitive to authenticity, that subtle realism made all the difference. FreenBecky didn't try to impress. They simply connected, and audiences followed. Chemistry that feels human. Many pairings rely on dramatic gestures or heightened emotions to convince viewers. FreenBecky took the opposite approach. Their strength lay in the small moments. Glances held a second longer than expected, soft reactions, quiet understanding. This type of chemistry feels human, not cinematic, and that's why it resonated so deeply. Fans weren't just watching a story unfold, they were feeling it alongside the characters. That emotional realism became their signature. Off-screen energy that keeps the fire alive. What truly propelled FreenBecky beyond the screen was what happened outside scripted scenes. Interviews, promotional events, behind-the-scenes footage, all revealed a dynamic rooted in comfort and mutual respect. There's an ease in how they interact. A rhythm that suggests trust. Nothing feels forced, exaggerated, or performative. And in an industry where public personas are often carefully constructed, that sincerity stands out. Audiences can tell when a bond is real, even if it's simply professional, and FreenBecky embodies that truth. A fandom without borders. Perhaps the most striking part of the FreenBecky rise is their global reach. Fans from Thailand to Nigeria, Brazil to the Philippines, the US to Europe, all gather under the same banner. Social media edits rack up millions of views. Fan art tells stories of its own. Comment sections turn into emotional forums where strangers connect over shared admiration. The fandom doesn't just consume content, it creates culture. This isn't passive entertainment. It's participation. More than entertainment. Meaning and representation. FreenBecky's work resonates because it goes beyond surface-level storytelling. Their projects explore emotions, vulnerability, personal growth, and relationships with nuance and care. For many viewers, this representation feels rare. It feels honest. It feels necessary. They are not symbols, but they are important mirrors, reflecting stories that audiences have long wanted to see treated with depth and dignity. The power of consistency. One of the reasons FreenBecky continues to thrive is consistency. They show up prepared. They treat their work seriously. They respect their audience. And they allow their growth to happen naturally, without rushing or overselling. This steady approach builds trust, and trust builds longevity. In an industry fueled by trends, FreenBecky feels refreshingly grounded. Why FreenBecky endures. Trends explode and fade. Viral moments come and go. But FreenBecky's appeal isn't built on shock or novelty, it's built on connection. Connection between performers. Connection with audiences. Connection to stories that matter. That's why people don't just watch FreenBecky, they return to them. The legacy still being written. What makes the FreenBecky journey especially compelling is that it's still unfolding. They haven't reached a final chapter. They're still evolving, still surprising audiences, still redefining what a successful on-screen partnership can look like in the modern era. And perhaps that's the most powerful part. This story is far from over. Final thoughts. FreenBecky represents more than a pairing, they represent a shift. A reminder that authenticity still matters. That audiences crave sincerity. That real connection can still rise above noise. Whether you're a long-time supporter or a curious newcomer, one truth remains clear. FreenBecky didn't just capture attention, They earned it. And in today's entertainment world, that might be the rarest achievement of all.